Welcome to the LifeStruction with Eric podcast. Do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. This is a topic that has raised some eyebrows. People have been hitting me up ever since I plugged the title of this podcast. A friend of mine even said, "E, you changing, bro. You really going to talk about sex on your podcast?" Woo-wee, bro. If you think this is something, talking about threesomes, wait until next week. My final episode of the year is going to be talking about porn. Yes, sir, buddy. Hit that subscribe button. Share this out. This is going to be a good discussion. If this is your first time tapping in to the LifeStruction with Eric podcast, we talk about life issues. We suggest tools that will help you rebuild your life after being defeated from a stronghold. And on this episode, I'm going to try my best to free some people. I'm going to chat about the threesome that destroyed my life. That's what we're talking about. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. So, first of all, let me ask you, have you ever tried a threesome? If so, did you like it? Were you married at the time? If so, did it include your spouse? Or was it like a one night stand? Now that you've answered those questions, tell me, did you live to regret it? Huh? Did you live to regret it? Because I can honestly say, I've tried a threesome and it eventually destroyed my life. Uh, like all of us, I was curious. It seemed like it would be fun, but I was committed. I was in a lifelong relationship with Christ, my Lord and Savior. And I did the most dumbest thing. I bought a drug into my relationship. I'm sure I just lost about 100 listeners right there because they thought I was going totally somewhere else with this title. But hey, if you still connected and you still listening, trust me, this is going to help you today. What I found out is bringing something into your life, that something or someone into your life, adding, that third party will eventually intoxicate your relationship with Christ. You're so excited about the feeling that he, she, or it is giving off that you miss the red flags. You don't realize it's unhealthy because that person, drug, bottle, job, I could go on and on, but it makes you feel so good that what you don't realize is it's becoming between you and your relationship with Christ. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, I was going to church, and I'll admit my relationship with God back then is totally different than today, but I knew better. Uh, the environment that I was in and the peer pressure led me to experiment with a drug. And at first, it was God, the drug, and I, that threesome. I was still going to church, trying to persuade Christ that I was living for him and him only, but I was mesmerized by that feeling that drug gave me that I thought no one else could give me. So I started to have more interaction with the drug and less interaction with Christ. And man, when I tell you, it took me down a road where I lost everything, my self-love, my pride, my integrity, my respect. My God, today, are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Lost everything. And it took me 10 years to realize that this distraction that I had been sleeping with and giving my all to was in a relationship with millions all around the world. and it was just a no good controlling heifer. And I needed to end my relationship with it before it landed me either in jail or 6 feet under. So guess what? I went back to my first love. I let go of my pride, dropped to my knees, and found the strength to ask God for forgiveness. I had lost everything, and the most scariest feeling in the world, you know, uh, I was scared. But as Mama them would say, God is always there. He's always there, waiting by the wayside. We just drifted away from him, but he's always been there. And guess what? They was right. They was right. So he welcomed me back with open arms. And for the last 19 and a half years, my life has been amazing. So, I know somebody's listening, probably saying, Eric, I already have your book. I know your story. Yeah, but you may have the book, but you've never had me to break it down for you like this. I tell y'all all the time that I love to read. And God basically gave me this discussion last week through a book that I was reading. And this episode is to help anyone that has issues right now, that is allowing anyone or anything to be attached to your relationship with Christ. You are in a relationship that is right. No, it's not. You think it's right, but it's not right. That relationship is not right. You're hanging around people that discourage you more than they appreciate you. Uh, they 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 they're not pushing you to be a better person. You drinking, you drugging, you gambling, you shopping, you work with toxic people. Guess what? You have the power to get out. You have the power to disconnect. Stop feeling like you can't prosper after disconnecting from toxicity. Quit telling yourself that you don't have a way to change your circumstance. You have the power. You have the power. Even though you were weak at the time and you allowed yourself to get sucked in, God created us all with a purpose. And even though many of us, we take that detour in life, you don't have to remain there. Look, I'm trying to tell you, I will unfollow, unfriend, uncoworker, or unfamily anyone who gives off bad vibes that I know will eventually drain me. You don't have to stay connected to anyone in life that's going to disconnect you from Christ and drain your soul. It's for me, you may some somebody may say it's selfish, but guess what? It's okay to be selfish with our relationship with Christ. Because guess what? God's way is the best way. God's way is the best way. Think about it. We all have been abandoned in our lives at some point. And what's the first thing that we do when we are in a we what's the first thing that we do when we feel we're in that dark place? uh what's the first thing that we do? We start to pray. That's the first thing that we do when we're in that dark place. We start to play. So same thing. It's mandatory to abandon that toxic third party. Your obedience will give you a life of prosperity, where you basically will begin to see yourself prosper far beyond anything that you expected. Remember, life is a team. You can't break the huddle and expect to win if God isn't on your front line. Yeah. Now that just rolled off my dome and did. I'm going to end with this, though. I'm going to end with this. You can't control the world, but you can control your thoughts and keep Christ first in your life. You the only way that you're going to keep order and peace in your life is to keep Christ first. So make sure you're being cautious and not making choices that will eventually create cycles that will take you down a path that will start to produce contractions that will birth nothing but hardships. Yee. See, the enemy's prime focus is to mute you by giving you temporary pleasure. He wants you to believe that you have the right to remain silent. But God said, I haven't given anyone authority to silence and become between you and become between what I have planted on the inside of you. So, my advice to you is remove that third party now so God won't have to remove the knife out of your back later. Oh, shata. Ah, yes, sir. So if you listen all the way through to the end of this, do me a favor, share this episode so it can help deliver some of those that's connected to you, man. I really feel that this can really, really uh, bless some people. So definitely share this with some people and yeah, help free them. Help free them. We have one more episode left for this year. One more episode. Next year, we're going to be talking about porn, the hidden addiction, the addiction that goes unnoticed, and the addiction that so many think that they can, be secretive with. It's going to be a good one. So tap in next week. But for the meantime, share this one out. Thank you for tapping in to LifeStruction with Eric podcast. You have a blessed rest of your week. Peace.